How much longer? 14 minutes. Now the question is, does this begin with just a black screen right into the cinematic, or are we gonna get like a little bit of Ian talk and then reveal? What do you guys think? I think they should just go cinematic, just right into it. Old school, just like you're at BlizzCon, bro. Just like you're at BlizzCon. You think Ian intro? I think cinematic, followed by Ian, followed by features. Quick 2-minute features video, then explanations. Dude, they better not start this shit with a recap of Shadowlands. I swear to God, man. There's going to be some furniture moving in this motherfucker if they start with that nonsense. Previously on World of Warcraft, Goku's still setting up his spirit bomb to kill N'Zoth. We listen. YouTube says 60 seconds. I think that's just like for the countdown. I mean, I'll check out YouTube right now and see what they're doing. Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, YouTube better not fucking like do something early before Twitch, or else I'm gonna be mad as fuck. This better not be like some shit like YouTube is doing something different than Twitch. Everything should be on the same fucking page. Are there even any YouTube streamers co-streaming it? Probably Bellular. And that's it, I think. Hope we all see more Khadgar. Khadgar Returns is part of the bingo. They are a part of the bingo. About a new allied race coming with a new class. Sure, why not? Just play the fucking cinematic. Oh, see? The YouTube now has a countdown. Where's our countdown? God damn it. Where's our countdown? How come YouTube has a countdown? We don't have a countdown. So far, I'm not liking the level of service on that, Warcraft is having with Twitch here. Let me tell you. We don't need one. Well, what if YouTube starts before this one? Stream delay can make things interesting. Well, that's why you just watch me, and then there is no delay. Done. Looks like YouTube is like a second faster. Oh, wait, stuff's happening. Here we go. Come on, baby. Maybe some hints here. What is all this? Old zones, revamps. New Griffin mount, sure. Okay. Opening of the gates all over again. Why not? We've only done it like 6 times already with all the new classics. Nah, it's actually just going through all the classic art. Yeah. Bless you. Back to Draenor, boys. Oh my god, I'm shaking with excitement. Come on, baby. Ugh. This is how I feel at BlizzCon. When I'm at BlizzCon, I'm just like this. I'm like fucking shaking and shit. I'm like ready to go. Rip. This is some great art. Is this like new art that we haven't seen before? I feel like I've never seen like a string of this art before. Is this old art? Maybe it's just a compilation. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Oh, they're going through each of the expansions. Look at the bottom. There's a little like meter. Right? At the bottom, there's a little W and it keeps going this way. It's a timeline. Yeah, it's a timeline. I just noticed it's a timeline. All right, well, show us Cataclysm. Time to show us Cata. So 1 minute for every expansion remaining. Wait, is it Cata, MOP, Draenor, Legion, BFA, Shadowlands. So 6 minutes. Yeah, see? That's kind of cool. This is actually a really good presentation. This is a really good presentation. Exactly 10 minutes for 10 expansions. Yeah, pretty much. Honestly, this is how it would look like at BlizzCon, to be fair. It would probably be this cool. Ooh, Firelands. You'll love to see it. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. The pandas, baby. Let's go. Terrible battleground. Fuck pandas. We never win it. Oh, 5 minutes, boys. 5 minutes. 5 minutes. Longest 5 minutes of our fucking lives. This is exciting. This is like when we first saw Legion being announced on the stream together. This is like a big fucking deal, man. This is awesome. Oh, shit. Black Hand. There's Black Hand. We will never be slaves. No, I'm not full screening. This is full screen. This is my full screen window. My regular window has too much shit everywhere. Plus my camera. I don't want anyone to miss anything of the cinematic. Ads have been disabled already on the stream. Ads are disabled. Subscription alerts are disabled. Everything's disabled right now. We're not worthy. We're not worthy. An illusion. What are you hiding? Chat's disabled? Oh, wait, they disabled chat on the World of Warcraft stream? Can you even do that? A new class, come on. My most played expansion ever. Right here. Minute 44. Let's go, man. Let me have it. Let me have it, Blizzard. Ah, fucking tree. Rip. F's in chat for the Night Elves. F's in chat for the Night Elves, boys. I switch, man. All right, 1 minute, boys. Here we go. Here we go, boys and girls. Shadowlands. You know, whatever. Pants off, let's go. All right, what do you guys think first? Cinematic or Ian? Cinematic or Ian? Oh, here we go. Dude, Shadowlands got like 18 seconds of time, bro. Shadowlands got 18 seconds of time. Dude, I'm feeling queasy right now. I might just puke. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Cinematic. Here we go. Fuck up. What the fuck? We're getting all the expansions in one.
For the Alliance! For the For Azeroth!
Cinematic.
Hi everyone, I'm John Ian Haidt, General Manager for Warcraft, and with me today are my friends Ian Hazacostas, who is the Game Director for World of Warcraft, and Holly Longdale, who leads up the production team for WoW Classic. I really appreciate you tuning in. I know we're really excited to be able to give you updates on what's happening in World of Warcraft.
What does that Warcraft poster in the background say?
I want to thank our community for all the feedback you've given us this year, and especially our community council. You've helped shape and influence
That's Wrath of the Lich
updates
King.
that we've done recently and what you're going to see in the upcoming year.
That's a Wrath poster in the back.
For Shadowlands in particular, the story of the last 9 months or so of this expansion
was that a dwarf?
Is all about the community.
On the right side
and it's
poster?
shaped by what we've been hearing from them.
Or is that Warcraft
and us
OG?
realizing
That's
as a
OG.
team that we just collectively needed to do a better job
Arthas.
of making sure the community felt heard. And so that led us to the changes we made in 9.15, but also really re-examining some of the assumptions and foundations of World of Warcraft about things like character investment and mains versus alts, or how catch-up should work, or the appropriate role of friction in our systems. And I think 9.15 represented a step in the direction of letting players have more freedom to play World of Warcraft the way they want to play it. And we really built our Eternity's End content update from the ground up around those principles.
What are some of the things that the community said that influenced your decisions for Eternity's End?
Things like the method and pacing of acquisition of the Covenant Legendary item, tons of tuning, and I think every step of the way, we were listening to make sure that we were carrying forward those lessons learned in the course of 9.15.
What's that poster behind him?
To Eternity's End and beyond.
So WoW Classic was really came about because of the community.
Ian looks rough,
they
bro.
continue to help guide and support
Ian looks
us
rough,
as
don't he?
Classic
Ian looks
evolves.
rough, man.
World of Warcraft has always been
He looks a little
about
rough.
the world and the players that inhabit it. And we are, in a lot of ways, curators and caretakers of that journey and of that experience. And so once this classic community formed and grew, we had to listen to them.
It's this tide of listening to the community and paying attention to what is a good experience for our players now. And where we really saw a sea change in this idea is with our Season of Mastery round, which is a Season of Fresh Start Classic. And initially we were talking about it like it was going to be like a fresh start. Let's try this experiment in a season. It'll be about a year
What t-shirt
long.
is he wearing?
And then when the community found out
Ian.
about it, we started seeing this upswell.
Yeah, the team just took that idea.
That's a
and ran
Covenant
with it
t-shirt, I think.
And turned,
That is a Covenant
what
t-shirt.
started out as a small community project
Just making sure.
into this Soul of Iron
I'm trying to
system
read
that
the room,
became
man.
a centerpiece of Season of Mastery and a whole new opt-in hardcore mode that we've seen communities built around.
Yeah.
Lots of, thrilling victory and painful defeat.
5 hours. I made it 5 hours.
Yeah, and it continues. Like Burning Crusade Classic, we wanted to balance the Paladin seals between Horde and Alliance, so we made an addition there. We wouldn't have gotten there without the community's input.
So influence the community. You've got another update and pretty significant controversial change for this.
Yeah, cross-faction play coming in 9.25. Which is on our public test realm now as a big
Ian,
centerpiece.
cross-faction. You're breaking with a 17-year tradition.
Yeah, it's something. It was not an easily made decision by any means, and I think this is another one of those areas where really we try to take to heart community feedback and requests and ask ourselves as a team whether there's a way to accommodate such an earnestly held desire.
I can't
and
wait
still
to play
feel
with
like
my
we're being
gnome
true
friends.
to the roots of the game. I think players desire to play with their friends who might prefer a different faction, or to play with the faction that they more closely identify with, even though their raid group is elsewhere.
It's really important for me. I play a lot of alts, and I love absorbing the story for each race, and having that ability to play with all of my friends across factions is fantastic.
At the end of the day, the battle cry is for the Horde. It's not against the Alliance. It's not death to the Alliance. It's about
what?
pride in one's faction.
Wait,
I think
what?
there's a way to preserve
Hell yeah,
that
it's
and
death
even
to the
strengthen
Alliance.
that
What are you talking about,
while
Ian?
giving players the ability to make
What?
the same choice we've seen the greatest heroes make time and time again.
I can't wait to do this. I'm seeing a lot of my friends that I never knew had a max level character in the other faction suddenly come out of the woodwork.
And then, with these cross-faction groups, many of them are going to be diving into something new that we're doing to kind of cap off Shadowlands, a Season 4. Kind of a remix, a bit of a greatest hits, revisiting all of our raid zones across the expansion, bringing in some familiar older favorites into the Mythic Plus rotation. And we recognize this is kind of a closing chapter, a little bit of a send-off to Shadowlands. As everyone gets ready for what happens next and what will come next, want to give a fun new challenge for everyone to sink their teeth into.
really cool stuff for modern WoW players. I'm super excited about the gear upgrades that you're going to give me and the chance to go back and play some of those awesome raids.
There's a lot to explore. Very exciting.
For our next adventure in World of Warcraft, we're going to go back to Azeroth. We're going to a space with high fantasy. I mean, our fans of Azeroth for a long time. This has been kind of the foundation of much of the lore of WoW. Mm-hmm. So without further ado, let's watch the cinematic.
The world has been sundered. It cries out in pain. We must go to its aid. We entrust our ancestral home to you, the Watchers. The land slumber, hidden even from our own eyes. You will feel our return in the waking of the land. Then you must light the beacon of Tearhold, lest the path home be lost to us forever.
What is actually fucking happening right now? F's in chat. Bro, I'm fucking lost right now. What's happening? It's Azeroth, right? Shit is happening with the save. With the save, dude.
fate is yet uncertain. Together, we shall be Azeroth's protectors once again. Here, the new age of dragons
The
shall
screenshot!
begin.
The screenshot, it's the stone guy! It's the fucking stone guy, bro! The screenshot was real.
Dragons!
Dragons.
This is so cool.
No one saw it coming.
No one saw it coming. Carefully kept secret. But seriously, I mean,
Oh, man.
what did we just see there?
The awakening of the Dragon Isles, the return of dragons, the dawn of a new age. Right, we've seen Rathian searching for his father's legacy, searching for the Dragon Isles. There's a reason why he hasn't been able to find them until now.
The beacon going off, is that summoning the dragons?
It is removing the concealment that had hidden the Dragon Isles from the world, but also beckoning the dragons back urgently in a time of need.
I assume pretty good variety of locales within the Dragon Isles.
Yes, the Dragon Isles, as kind of standard for WoW expansion, consist of 5 zones, 4 standard leveling zones, and a new starter zone that we'll get to in a second.
Can you talk a little bit about how the team found ways to thread the dragon aspects throughout the environments?
The Dragon Isles are a place that is lush and primal, bursting with elemental energy. As Azeroth herself reawakens, those primal forces are expressed throughout the environment, whether it's magma activity, volcanic activity, whether it's the icy wastes of the Azure Span, and each one of those has a connection to a Dragonflight that we've seen before. And it's going to be an amazing place for players to arrive at and explore.
All right, you know I'm going to ask.
Yes, okay, so
Can I be a dragon?
let's start getting into some features here and what Dragonflight means for you as well as just a place. So first off, yes, we have an all-new playable race, the Drakthir race.
Yeah.
This is a
Oh my
dragon
God,
and
it's also
draconic
real!
race,
The
but
screenshots
dragons
are
in
real!
Warcraft have the ability to take on a humanoid form.
Oh my God!
What classes can they be?
They have
Oh my God!
unique abilities as literally a dragon. That doesn't quite fit any of our existing classes. And so what we're doing is this is not just a new race, but it's also a new class. You know, adding a new race to World of Warcraft and not just an allied race is something that we don't do lightly.
What was the class name?
But telling this expansion, this story, so focused around dragons, felt like the perfect time for it. So if you are a Drakthir, you will be the Evoker class. Drakthir can only be Evokers, Evokers can only be Drakthir. And the reason why only a Drakthir could be an Evoker is that an Evoker is really combining the ability to call upon the magic of the different aspects with the unique physical gifts that a Drakthir has, the ability to actually take flight and do an Onyxia-style strafing deep breath over the battlefield, land on the other side, knock everyone back with a wing buffet, and then unleash your magical abilities.
Yes, please.
The Evoker has 2 specializations. They're a hybrid of either ranged DPS or healer, and they wear male armor. We figured, you know, with the new hero classes we've added over the years, we have enough melee, we don't need more of those. And also probably don't need any more leather wearers.
The raid leaders are going to love you for that.
Exactly. This is definitely a hero class. And so that means that, you know, like the Death Knights before them or Demon Hunters, they will be starting level 58, and then they're going to have a new starter zone. So they're going to have a slightly different journey into the Dragon Isles as opposed to the rest of us that are sailing there from other parts of Azeroth.
60
Can
to
you
70.
talk a little bit about the customizations?
70 cap,
like
yeah.
what
I think
is
it's a
going to be
70
able
cap.
to identify my Drakthir character?
Everyone's gonna play
Basically
a Drakthir.
anything and everything. You know, skin color, hair color, jewelry, tattoos, other adornments.
Screenshots
you
were
can
real.
Make this character the expression of
The leaks
your
were real,
identity
boys.
in Azeroth.
New zone.
It looks
new class,
better like this, though.
Race. Well, tell us about some of the system updates or features.
So, of course, the new expansion brings with it, you know, new systems, new features. I think in recent expansions, one of the things we've tended to do is really have these deep features that were closely tied to a specific expansion that would then get left behind as we moved on.
Mm-hmm.
And we've heard loud and clear from players that, you know, it's kind of a bummer to start off every new expansion by leaving a large part of your character behind, by leaving a large part of your progression behind. So this time around, what we're doing is really pouring all of our energy into permanent revamps, overhauls, and improvements to World of Warcraft's core systems. Things like our progression systems, in this case, our talent system is something that we want to completely revamp.
Show it.
We want to take a look at
Show
our UI. We want to take a look at professions.
So with the talent revamp and the arrival of Classic, did you learn anything about how our talents work?
I think seeing a new generation of players play with those talents and work through those talent trees really underscored some of the things that, frankly, we lost when we shifted to the Mists of Pandaria style talents and beyond. A big piece of that was some of just the granularity, the feeling of getting a level and spending a point to customize your character to make yourself a bit better in some specific way. But also, that sense of hybridity that you could have. That's something that we've largely lost. And so the new talent system
it is true. It's actually true.
Player
oh my
power
God, every leak was real.
Directly against those
every leak was real.
Hybrid choices, because we know that there's always a right outcome there. And we also understand that there's a lot of strength in the flexibility of the modern talent system to let players customize their talents for a particular encounter or for dungeons versus PvP, and we don't want to lose any of that.
So John, UI?
Oh my God. Yes, I got this 30-inch monitor trying to keep track of where I am on the map, all my buffs, and over here, what's going on in chat. It has literally made my eyes go like this. So,
yep, you're not alone in that. We've made a lot of incremental changes and additions over the years, but really this is a revamp, this is an overhaul. And so we're excited to really modernize the look and feel while staying true to the origins of World of Warcraft. Now, at the same time, we're not looking to take away the sort of power user customization there. Add-ons are still there if you want them.
Thank you.
But we want a much better default out-of-the-box experience for all players, new and old alike.
And can I reduce elements, remove elements, if I want to explore the world and see the beauty of Azeroth?
When it
Okay,
comes to
that's actually
specific
not
elements,
bad.
as much as possible, we want to let players choose what to show and what to hide so that they can control it themselves.
Wow.
You mentioned professions. I have a critical question about this.
Oh, go on.
Can I wear a chef's hat?
Yeah, I knew it.
Our approach to professions in Dragonflight is really all about delivering on fantasy and identity as a crafter. And so if you want to be a serious blacksmith, if you want to be a great leather worker, we want to deliver the ability to invest time and energy into that, become a master crafter, be able to make items that are in demand, interact with the community. One of the big pieces that we want to do to support that is a new work order system to have a bit more convenience than just spamming trade chat all day. But if you are someone, you're not yourself a blacksmith, but you have a bunch of mats and you want them forged into a great sword, you can put that work order up, list your mats, offer a commission, and a skilled blacksmith can come along and make you the weapon of your dreams.
What?
I think we left out one thing, though. You can be a Drakthir, go to Dragon Isles. Can I have a dragon?
What's the fantasy of dragons, if not soaring over the lands? And so we're really excited to introduce a feature that we're calling dragon riding. It's dynamic with everything from momentum to dive bombs, the ability to just sort of build that speed up and feel the world rushing past you in a way that should be much more exciting than traditional flight that we've made available in the past. But that's also available for players through a customizable dragon mount right from the start.
So this is a skill you learn over time, right, to become an awesome dragon rider?
Yes, you'll be able to sort of upgrade aspects of your flight, but you will have this new form of flight from the start. And the dragon companion that you have is, of course, very thoroughly customizable, which is a new thing for us for mounts. This is not just a generic dragon that everyone has, but a drake that is yours. What do you want its scales to look like, horns, the shape of its head, other attachments, armor pieces, and more. Take your pick.
This is so cool.
So the Dragonflight expansion is going to see players leveling to 70, going to the all-new continent of the Dragon Isles.
Confirm 70
consists
leveling.
Of 5 zones, 4 standard leveling zones, and a new starter zone for our Drakthir class, as well as a range of systems revamps, such as a new talent system, an overhaul and update to our UI, and an entirely fresh look at professions with more depth than ever before. Also getting around the Dragon Isles is going to come in the form of dragon riding, which lets you customize and upgrade your own mount so that you can fly in a sense from the start. And of course, as with any new expansion, we have a new set of dungeons, a raid, and much more to come.
We also have an alpha that will be starting up in the future.
Check out our website for more information and keep an eye out for those opt-in signups if you want to help us test out Dragonflight and give us even more feedback to make it better.
We do have a deep dive that follows this, so please stay around.
Yes.
Classic players, we haven't forgotten about you. You could probably guess where we're going to go next. One of the all-time favorite expansions for World of Warcraft. Let's watch the cinematic.
My son, the day you were born, the very forests of Lordaeron whispered the name Arthas. When my days have come to an end, you shall be king.
Told you. This year. Told you it's this year.
It's just incredible, isn't it? Every time I see the cinematic, I get chills. No pun intended, I get chills. As you saw, Wrath of the Lich King Classic is coming this year. It brings back so many memories. When you see that cinematic, what do you remember from Wrath of the Lich King?
Anytime you want to talk about undead frozen dragons, how can you not go back to Sindragosa as the source? That was the first expansion I played with my youngest son. So I can remember on that platform, black goo and chunks of ice falling off and having to repeat that battle with the Lich King. But when we finally downed him, it was such an incredible moment. He jumped up out of his room and I jumped up out of my office. We're like, yeah, did it. So it's a very lasting tale for me.
So as you know, with this expansion, you will, in pre-patch, be able to play the Death Knight. They will start at level 55. You don't have to have a high-level character to make a Death Knight, so everyone will be able to make one.
We're excited to give players some time before Wrath officially launches to get geared up and ready to jump into Northrend with everybody else.
And there are so many zones and areas to explore in Northrend, and I want us to talk about some of our favorites. So for me, Grizzly Hills has a very special place in my heart. The music was some of the best I've experienced in World of Warcraft.
I still make my way all the way up to Storm Peaks to try and find the time-lost Protodrake and have yet to get it.
I've got to say Dragonflight. The wide open nature of the zone, Bormo's Temple in the center of it. It's an unforgettable expansion as both a developer and a player and kind of making that transition from one to the other.
Now let's talk about some changes. So one thing we looked at is Dungeon Finder, and it feels like how we envision Classic, Dungeon Finder is not a good fit for our community.
That was kind of the first step that may have eroded some of that social fabric. Now, as people have gone through the experience of going back to vanilla, rebuilding those groups, relying on each other, not wanting necessarily a random participant just to show up and then leave.
Yep.
Yeah, that makes total sense.
But today, you can do that in Shadowlands. You'll be able to do that in Dragonflight. It's a self-selected group of people who specifically want that different experience.
Yes.
Let's make sure that's what we continue to give them.
That leads right into arena teams in Burning Crusade Classic. So we listen to the community and we remove that because individual rating is preferable and a better experience for them than arena teams. Also, with Wrath of the Lich King, Barbershop, which allows you to customize your character. We're going to be adding a few more options that were not existing when Wrath launched, but also there's another side of this where we are not going to charge a real money fee. It was a paid character customization fee, right?
Yeah.
It seems the right thing to do that just be available in game for gold, and we add more options.
So they're starting
to
with
it,
LFG, right?
It's sort of like spell batching in a sense. There's a lot of technical advancements, and it's not about the philosophy of what makes Classic classic and what brings people together. It's just what's the better experience, and let's not artificially restrict something that we can provide a better version of just for the sake of nostalgia. And we're happy to say this is one of those cases.
So
yeah, they're keeping
Wrath,
LFG.
The level cap's being increased to level 80, so we'll be introducing a level 70 boost so that players who want to get in with their friends or just explore Northrend right away will be able to do that. You can't apply it to a Death Knight, but you will be able to use it otherwise. And of course, we have Inscription, a whole new profession, so we're really excited about that. Yeah, and as we continue this road to Wrath, we're going to be looking to getting a lot more feedback on beta, and we'll make changes as we need to.
Such an exciting time to be playing World of Warcraft. We have the return of the Wrath of the Lich King for Classic fans, and taking us somewhere new with Dragonflight. We're so excited to be able to bring these adventures to you. Don't forget, there's a deep dive on Dragonflight where you're going to get a lot more information. Thank you so much.
They didn't mention any systems for Dragonflight.
We'll see you in Azeroth.
Maybe in the
And
deep.
we'll see you in Northrend.
Maybe in the deep
And
dive.
in the Dragon Isles.
Oh, here we go. This is just like BlizzCon. This is great.
Hi there. Welcome to the Dragonflight Deep Dive. I'm Steve Denuser.
And I'm Taryn Gregory. Starting it off here, we're going to talk about the setting and the story of Dragonflight.
We've got this great expansion, exciting pre-render trailer that everyone just watched. So let's talk about the setting for Dragonflight,
This is
the Dragon
your
Isles.
expansion,
Dragon
Steve.
Isles have been known for a long time in Warcraft history as a mysterious place where the dragons came from long ago, but we never knew much more than that.
We're going to this place that is kind of the broodlands of all the Dragonflights, the place where they nested, where they built their civilization. The Dragon Isles was the center of the Dragon's kingdom when the world was young and the mortal races were just starting to form kingdoms of their own. But when the Legion invaded for that War of the Ancients, that sundering that resulted from the explosion of the Well of Eternity, broke the world.
Literal sundering of the continents of Azeroth.
And because of the breaking of the world, that magic kind of drained away and the land went dormant. So they had to leave the Dragon Isles behind. And as we saw in the pre-render, they left behind some Titan Watchers to look over the land. And when someday they hoped that elemental energy would resurge once again and draw the dragons home and reestablish their kingdom.
And that's when the message goes out to the flights and they feel it in their bones.
Now it's the time for the sky to light up with the colors of the aspects once again, and for Alex Straza and the others to come home. But the land has changed a lot in all these thousands of years they've been away, and some very old threats have awakened as well.
We're looking into the culture of dragons as they exist in Warcraft.
Dragons, as we know them today, were very different in the early past, the early history of Azeroth. They were much more primitive, much more savage, what we now know as proto-dragons.
And then some of the dragons were empowered to become the aspects. The green flight, red flight, blue flight, bronze flight, black flight, each with unique powers, each with the ability to protect the world in different ways. These pillars of draconic power appointed to defend Azeroth from threats within and without.
Dragons used that power both for good, in the case of most of the aspects, but also for nefarious reasons in the case of the Black Dragonflight led by Neltharion, who would become Deathwing.
And what we will find in Dragonflight is that some of these ancient divisions run deep. And so it begs the question, where do we go from here? If this is an opportunity to reclaim their legacy, to be the protectors, as the cinematic mentioned, that they once were.
To do that, they're going to need the help of our heroes, our players, to come to the Dragon Isles with them and face some of these reawakening challenges, because it's not just that this land is peacefully waiting for the dragons to return and reclaim it. There's those old enemies that have awakened as well.
Yeah.
One of those being a race of kind of elemental half-giants, the Jarradin.
The Dragon Isles isn't just populated by dragons or just by the Jarradin. There's also many other occupants here in the Dragon Isles. They've been here either
like the
just
Rock.
recently or for a while, including a fan favorite coming back, the Tuskar.
That's going to be awesome. We've got other cultures there as well in the Dragon Isles. We're going to find out about a civilization of centaurs that predates the ones that arose on Kalimdor much later.
And some of our favorite characters that we've seen over the last few expansions, such as Rathian.
And whether he's ready to step up into a leadership role, or if there are other alternatives out there that would be better suited to the job of being the aspect of the Black Dragonflight.
I think one thing the players are going to be really excited about this expansion is the new playable race, the Drakthir.
That's right.
And this is something that Neltharion, before he was Deathwing, before he went full crazy world dragon, that he put into motion?
Neltharion saw those primalists that were kind of breaking away from the aspects and what they wanted. And so in those first experiments, he took the essence of dragons, their strength, their nobility, their wisdom, and he combined it with that scrappiness, that adaptability that the mortal races had. And he wanted to use that to create the ideal soldier in his mind, the Drakthir. Exploration is really one of the key themes of this expansion. We're going to be going to this ancient place that the dragons left behind long ago. So we've made these huge zones with all kinds of places to delve into and find little treasures and little secrets tucked away. It's going to be a lot of fun for players to be exploring these landscapes.
And there's so much architectural history and how clearly aspirational was the kingdom of the dragons and how it lost so much. And the themes of trying to return to that, to try to find your legacy, to try to figure out who you were before everything went awry. But there's questions, thematic questions of What does it mean to be true to your legacy? Are we going to repeat the mistakes of the past?
The dragons have had to learn those lessons just like the mortal kingdoms have had to. And I think that's one of the reasons why the dragons see this now as the time that they have to return and they have to step up once again as protectors of Azeroth. We're helping the dragons because the dragons have helped us in the past too. So by using the Explorers League and the Reliquary together, that allows us to delve into some of that history.
And when I look upon the Dragon Isles in all of its visual splendor, I get so excited for the prospect of a truly Azerothian adventure alongside Calicos, along with Rathian, Ebonhorn, with Ysera's daughter Marithra, as each one of them is trying to find their own flights. I am taken by the exploration and the potential for adventure and just new horizons within this world.
There's going to be old stories from that time past, that history that only the dragons knew for the longest time. We're going to be able to explore that.
It really feels like just a breath of fresh air.
So now we're going to turn things over to some of our colleagues who will take you on that deep dive into the locations and the features of Dragonflight.
Hello, I'm Stephanie.
I'm Josh.
I'm Jackie.
And I'm Gary.
And we're part of the teams that are building the first two zones that you'll encounter in the Dragon Isles, the Waking Shore and the Onaran Plains. The very first zone in Dragonflight you're going to come to is the Waking Shores. It's wild, untamed land. It's waking up around you too.
Like a young version of Littlefinger.
The art team again has hit it out of the park.
You'll see like a lava mountain flowing in through the beach, giant proto-dragons swooping down, gobbling up members of your expedition.
We have such rife opportunities to show elementals rising up because of the crazy magic that's flying around.
The one of the things I love is just how you get to the Dragon Isles, right? So you're going to get on your boat in Stormwind or Orgrimmar, and the first thing you do is sail between like the dragon ruin architectures. The boats come right alongside each other. You can jump from one boat to the other and just start causing havoc on the other faction's boat.
For those who love PvP, this is a great opportunity for war mode.
Sure. It's free for all out there. It's going to be great. But it's okay. There's an innkeeper on the beach, so that if you're in that situation and you don't want to be in war mode anymore, you can just hop out right there.
I can't unsee
The Reliquary and the Explorers League are working together.
The Horde and Alliance are sending an expedition together. It's not the military, it's not the soldiers. This is the scientists, the settlers, exploring this new land. So it's a lot more optimistic tone.
One of my favorite things about the Waking Shores is the Red Dragonflight, led by Queen Alexstrasza, the Lifebinder. They have the mandate of nurturing and protecting all life, which means Horde and Alliance, Gorloks, trolls, everybody. So they take that duty seriously. When the Horde and the Alliance come to the Waking Shores, they want to be there to help guide the people through the new land and welcome them. But they're not the only one in the Waking Shores.
We have the ancestral home of the Black Dragonflight there too, which has fallen on tough times since Deathwing's descent. And so Rathian's coming over to the Isles with us, and he's going to try and come to terms with the state of the Dragonflight, which is a few loyal Draconids and Dragon Spawn trying to hold their ground. What can the future of the Dragonflight be if it's just Rathian? Because it's not just the dragons that are coming back to the Dragon Isles, but also their longtime rival, the Jarden.
I love the Jarden so much. They're half giants that wield the power of magma. And when the Waking Shores and the Dragon Isles went to slumber, they also slumbered. They're back now, and they are ready to raise chaos.
Yeah, they're massive. They're riding giant lava mammoths, parading around, just stomping on your face.
And they were the enemies of the Dragonflight for so long. They fought against the Red Dragonflight, hunted dragons down, and they're really taking this opportunity to rise up. As the Red Dragonflight have the mandate of nurturing life, they don't want to just stomp out the Jarden completely, but they want to make sure that they don't have the power to affect those around them negatively, to make sure they don't go on a rampage and destroy the ecosystem that has been created here.
And so those are awesome things in the Waking Shore, but Steph, there really is only one right answer for the best thing in Waking Shores, right?
What?
This is true. Ducks.
We finally have those webbed feet hooligans in our game. We cracked the technology.
They can figure it out. They can fly.
You should be proud.
Thank you.
It's going to be awesome.
The Onaran Plains come right after the Waking Shores. It's so breathtaking at first glance.
The Onaran Plains are big, wide open plains. And the player is going to be constricted a little bit, and then you see this big contrast of a zone. We don't always get that opportunity, that cinematic moment where the player can have a framed view when they see this area.
Come out and you got that postcard shot of the plains. And then you see this giant fire proto-dragon breathing fire, and a herd of centaur like harpoon down the proto-dragon and crash into the ground. And the first thing you get to do is go help them kill the proto-dragon. Like, how cool is that?
Who is Onara?
Onara is the wild god of the wind. And she's appeared before as like this big spirit eagle. She's the one who guided the centaur to the Dragon Isles many, many years ago. She blessed them, took their caravan across, and then showed them the plains.
How fun at the beginning of this expansion was exploring the culture of the centaur.
The centaur are these mighty, awesome hunters that back when they first came to the Dragon Isles, they fought the green dragons all day long. Eventually they realized that we're strong, you're strong, maybe we should stop decimating each other's people. We'll make peace, we'll make an agreement. You guys hang out in the groves and the centaur will hang out in the plains. But now the dragons have been gone for 10,000 years. And the centaur have come so far since then. And they've been here and they've been existing and developing their culture. They all came over as one clan led by the mighty Maruk and Tira, and they founded a new life here. So if you want to get across, you have to follow their rules and their traditions. You have to earn their trust. You are the first outsiders to come in generations upon generations. The centaur might rule the open plains, but the green dragons make their home in the groves. And those groves are absolutely gorgeous.
Wow.
And how great a job it is that we have where I can take all of this beautiful artwork and build these beautiful fantasy groves, high fantasy. We want to do lots of things with an open plain and we want to be creative with that. But we're restraining ourselves by letting the zone sing, letting the horizon tell the story. We certainly couldn't have done that in the vanilla WoW.
No, definitely not. The zones are so big and you can see so far, especially in Onaran Plains. So we talked to the engineers and we actually increased that distance.
It spurs you on to want to adventure and look through the zone and explore everything.
The interesting thing for me is we have all these conflicts with the Dragonflights. There's missing dragons, there's battles, there's so much crazy stuff happening, but that's not really all we're doing. There's so much extra fun activities for people to do. And the greatest thing is that you need to figure out exactly what's going on and help solve all the problems that are just sprouting up everywhere.
We're just really excited to tell a story that's grounded in Azeroth and exploration. There's so much more to talk about. But now we're going to have some folks talking about the next two zones that players are going to experience in the Dragon
That's what
Isles.
people wanted. Azure Span and Valdrassus.
Hello, everyone. My name is Kate.
I'm Christy.
I'm Kate.
I'm Sean. We're going to talk today about Valdrassus and the Azure Span. So Azure Span is going to be the third zone that players adventure through, and it's one of our biggest zones that we've done in the Dragonflight, maybe even to date.
We knew it was going to be like the largest visual elevation change, and it really started with this great concept art. When we first were taking a look at the design, we kept coming back to one of our favorite Wrath zones, which was Grizzly Hills. And we really wanted to take that, but wowify it more. And I don't know if you've ever been up to the Bay Area, but in the morning, that coastal fog comes in and dips down into the redwoods and that sun shines through. That's really what we wanted to encapsulate with this forest. And not only we have redwoods, but we've got all different types of trees. Eventually, it'll break open into this wide open tundra that's just golden and red, and you'll reach up to another level of elevation where you get to see the snow. The majority of the zone is covered in snow and ice. We have giant frozen waterfalls, ice rivers as far as the eye can see. And Sean, I know in the forest, we can expect our first creatures.
We have a small group that lives there called the Gnolls. These gnolls are all throughout the forest and Azure Span. They've made this their home. Some gnolls with strange magic that we're going to find out what exactly that's about. Snow gnolls, or as I call them, the snolls.
They look like crackheads.
In the winter area. And then some regular gnolls that are just going to be around the forest areas. And then we go into the big open tundra where we meet our second group, the Tuskar.
It's going to be really neat to explore their culture a lot more. And those kids are adorable. I absolutely love the Tuskar. Honestly, all my downtime's probably just me hanging out with the Tuskar.
So it's been a little while since we've seen them. We remember the Tuskar.
This is going to be my favorite zone.
They're also getting a nice cool upgrades for their models, along with expanding their culture. So there are going to be male Tuskar, female Tuskar, Tuskar kids. So we're going to fight alongside them, which includes help from a certain group of dragons, the blue dragons. We're going to follow the story of Kalagos, our blue dragon buddy from the Kirin Tor, and he's going to be adventuring into Sindragos's archives. It's a giant zone. There's a lot of surprises. When we're done there, we head over to Aldraz's.
Aldraz's. It's really incredible because you will be going through some of the previous zones and seeing a lot of ruins for the dragon buildings. But when you get to Aldraz's, everything is perfectly intact. It's beautiful. It's pristine. It is the seat of power for all 5 dragonflights and home of the dragons. It feels that way with the huge vertical mountains. We've got these great cave systems where you may end up finding little dragon hordes.
My favorite Dragonflight right now is the Bronze. They've got a really cool area in Aldraz's, and their magic is time.
Damn.
There's so many cool story hooks that we could dig into there. There's so many cool gameplay options, and we have a little bit of an adventure for players. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
I can't wait. We really wanted it to feel like their old stomping grounds. One of the really cool features is going to be the main city and player hub for this expansion, Valdrakken. It is a culmination of all of the dragon's efforts to put together what a city would look like. So we ended up having a bunch of really fun small vignettes where you can see that the blue Dragonflight is hosting a public library, and the red and green Dragonflights both have their own separate gardens. We'll also have some convenience services for players, including an auction house in the city, which will be really nice if you're looking for more exotic wares.
Thank you.
The thing that really sold me on Aldraz's was the initial concept art we got of Tierhold.
Oh, yeah.
Wow. And this is a 10,000-year-old Titan technological marvel. Tierhold has these awesome aqueducts that actually come out from the structure all the way to the city across the valley. And in the cinematic, there's just this amazing shot where you see Alexstrasza swoop under one of them, and there's splashes of water cresting across her wings. So when players are flying around themselves, they get to have their Alexstrasza moment. What an incredible place, and filled with so much history.
It's a mouthful, though, huh?
Tierhold was built by Tyr. He was a Titan Keeper back in the day who helped the Aspects fight Galakrond. And when they settled on the Dragon Isles, he built this facility. And even though Tyr's gone, the dragons have held him in reverence. But that was 10,000 years ago, and they've let the Titans maintain the place. An incredible amount of history has happened since then. Flights have been nearly wiped out. There have been invasions, betrayals. Aspects have died. And these are the kind of things that leave marks on a society. So now they're all back here, and they're all here together.
As we were designing the zone and the city itself, we're trying to figure out, how do we tell those stories at the same time as making sure that this is a really convenient place for players to go and, go shopping, as they tend to do. So much adventuring happening on the Dragon Isles.
It's so cool.
As a player, you probably don't have your own dragon wings. You are going to learn the art of dragon riding.
It's so vertical, and I'm just excited to
excited for that
dive
shit.
off the tops of towers and swoop under things.
It's actually one of the things that we're about to learn about next.
Hi, I'm Jake.
I'm Andy.
I'm Kali.
And I'm Graham. And I'm really excited to talk to you guys today about the Dracthyr Evoker, our new race and class coming in Dragonflight.
We're here to talk about not only the Evoker, but also dragon riding, which is our exciting expression into the exploration of the Dragon Isles.
We knew with a dragon-themed expansion, we wanted to let you play a dragon. Not a big dragon, Alexstrasza size. That'd be tough to fit into raids. I'm sorry, Jake. Okay. I know.
Fine.
But a draconic humanoid. So the Dracthyr, created by Neltharion.
And like our other hero classes, you get to choose if you want to start on the Horde or Alliance side on character creation.
So let's talk a little bit about the Evoker, the class they can be. What's unique about it is because the Dracthyr are created by an aspect, they have the ability to wield the magic of all 5 Dragonflights. So Evokers can take advantage of red magic and blue magic and bronze magic.
And to show that, we created a visual, what we call a prismatic effect. This prismatic effect is basically the coalescence of all their energy as they channel it into whatever spell that they're going to cast. You have a red magic spell called Pyre. So when you shoot it out of your mouth, it twirls in the air with all 5 of the Dragonflight's magic as it turns into the red spell before landing on your enemies and exploding and hopefully burning them.
I see that.
I'll take that one.
Getting that vibe across that they use all 5 was really important to us, but we did want to make sure that each specialization focused on 2, because casting 5 different colors gets a bit messy. So their damage dealer specialization, their first of 2, Devastation, mostly focuses on red and blue magic. Red being very fast and explosive, burning everything with Pyre. whereas blue is more focused and overwhelming. You can shoot a beam of energy out of your mouth to disintegrate one single enemy in front of you.
There's a healer spec called Preservation. The healer spec is going to focus mostly on your green and your bronze magic. So your green is going to be evocative of the Emerald Dream, your growth and your nurturing spells. And then you have your bronze magic, which is going to be more timey-wimey. So you get to heal a wound faster.
So in addition to the visuals and the animation, which all make you feel very powerful, we really wanted the player to have a physical connection to the cast. We have a new
Blizzard
type
said
of
too
spell
much
called
melee.
Empower, where when you actually hold down the button on your keyboard, it charges up the spell. The longer you charge it up, it might do more damage or hit more targets depending on the spell, but it gives you this really physical connection and control that's new for World of Warcraft and I think is feeling really, really good.
We have some great animations. Thank you, Andy. Your
You
team.
love it, Andy.
You feel
QTE.
physical when you're casting your spells.
You can actually fly around the battlefield and cast while you're flying.
Raining fire and death from above. It's great.
In addition to the gameplay, though, another part of feeling draconic is looking like a dragon.
Well, we talk about dragons breathing fire, but you know what's actually fire?
What's actually
These
fire?
customizations.
Oh my goodness.
But no, they're really, really
They're
cool.
awesome.
Because you have both your draconic form and your humanoid form. And the customization options for both of them are amazing.
They're very good.
What about color? Just tell me you can change the color.
You can do a lot of matching. So your Visage form can have scales that are the same color as your Drakthir form.
But my favorite, super favorite part of customization for the visage form, hair.
Yeah.
Because I can actually do this in game.
Yeah.
The check is here.
We finally did it.
As players make their way through each of the areas of the Dragon Isles, they'll partner up with the Dragonflights to move through the air as they've never done before. You'll notice I did not say flying, because flight has a very specific meaning for World of Warcraft.
Yeah, it does.
And we're talking about something new called dragon riding.
And as the players are honing their dragon riding skills, they're going to get to see all new animations that go along with the different look and feel of the drakes.
We're aiming to shake up movement with this new system, providing players with a deeper immersion with forces like momentum and gravity.
We knew that for Dragonflight, we were going to have the opportunity to show players a whole new set of Dragon Isle drakes, completely unique from all the other things they've seen in World of Warcraft. And so we wanted to come up with a movement system that would add that sense of physics, weight, and gravity, like you were mentioning. We knew it was going to take a huge team effort, not just animation, but it was going to take effects. It was going to take the engineering team, who we rely on heavily, and that combined with some new animations really helps to lend that feeling of physics as you move through the air.
So we can
in ways that you
technically
haven't
fly
before.
from
and
the start.
The icing on the cake is going to be some really cool effects that we've
Ish.
added on top of all of that.
Kinda.
So for example, when you start hitting, maximum velocity, you're going to see contrails coming off the edges of the wings. And then as you do your rolls and spirals, you build up more and more speed. There's going to be some screen effects on the display to indicate that you're reaching maximum velocity, which really adds to the overall kind of immersion and sense of reality.
As players make their way through the Dragon Isles, they'll discover new cosmetic options to fine-tune their Dragon Isle Drake's appearances. Things like snoots, horns, tails, elusive Dragon Isle Drake armor, and more.
Can I have spikes?
Definitely.
Okay.
We want to provide players with all new skills to play
I
with,
like it. I think
as
it's cool.
those who can use their momentum well
Boop the
can
snoot.
reach higher and higher heights, and bring on new, more difficult challenges.
We just have so many new gorgeous options to choose from, and I'm just so excited for all of them.
I'm excited for the whole thing. I mean, it's been a lot of fun to work on, but I can't wait to actually get in the game, play it with you guys.
I can't wait. I can't wait to fly around Dragon Isles. It's gonna be great.
Next up, you're going to hear about the talent revamp and the UI changes coming in Dragonflight.
Here we go.
Hello, my name is Brian.
I'm Crash.
I'm Jay.
And I'm Laura. We are very excited to share we are finally revamping the WoW
Dude,
HUD
Holinka
UI.
is
And it is
jacked
also
right
time
now.
for a major
What the
revamp
fuck?
to talents and specializations.
I have a big question for the group. How long do you think it took for us to finally revamp the WoW HUD?
My guess is like 15 years.
Close, 18 years.
18 years.
18 years.
Wow.
You know, technology has changed a lot since we made the UI back in 2004. Now you have like bigger monitors, and us, we have better dev tools to work with. So it makes sense to have the revamp right now. Also, if you look at the game today, the art evolved beautifully over the years. And if you look at the HUD looks like it got frozen in time.
So when we approached this, we wanted to create a layout experience that players could customize, move things around, adjust it to fit their needs.
Add-ons today, they do a lot for player customization.
The downside is that not everybody uses them. It's about time that everybody has the opportunity to use them, that they become a part of the base UI.
Yeah, and we are working very closely with our user research team to make sure we are hitting the goals that our player needs.
It allowed us to add new functionality, to improve accessibility in a lot of areas, and on top of that, we are going to be improving the art.
Yeah, so the art update, it's a big part of this project. The UI that we have today has a lot of charm and personality, and players have been using that for 18 years. So with that in mind, we want to respect the players who really like the current UI, but do a modern take to it, removing the clutter and giving more visibility for your gameplay. So the new minimap, it looks bigger, and the health bar is also much bigger. If you look at the action bars and the bottom menus, they have less health frames, and you can really open up your gameplay, so you don't have a lot of your UI in front of you. And of course, we want to find iconic pieces from the current HUD, but we want to bring it
The
back
health bars look hot,
in a nice
though.
way.
Health
so
bars look hot.
we for sure updating the Griffins. They look so nice now. And the Horde, don't worry, we got you. We're gonna have your version as well. So let's talk about the edit mode.
We are putting a mode in that will let players move various HUD elements around on the screen.
So I'm able to move the mini-map, say, from the right corner all the way over to the left corner. Or if I want to bring my action bars from the bottom and kind of put them more in the center by my character, those are all things that I'll be able to do?
Absolutely. And each of those different components will have various sets of options that you'll be able to work with. They'll be able to save it, edit it, copy it, name it. Also, it'll remember which spec you're in. So if you're someone who jumps around a lot, as you switch, it will switch to whatever HUD layout you have for that spec.
Okay.
This is an ongoing project. We're gonna keep working on it. So we really wanna hear back from you.
You have a year.
A project that we're all excited about, that we've been collaborating a lot on, is something that's pretty UI intensive, and that's the talent system.
It hadn't changed in a long time, like you said before. And we really started with, how can we have players have more choice over what their character has?
As you level up, we give you a new spell or a new ability, something that kind of makes you stronger, but it's determined by the designers. We decide the order.
Yeah, we started looking for a system that would give players a much wider set of options.
And after looking at all those things, what we really returned back to was the idea of trees. But it's actually two trees. We have a class tree that offer different class utility, and then we have a spec tree that is focused on performing your role, whether that's damage, tank, or healing.
Can I just jump in and say that I personally am super excited about having trees come back. There's a big nostalgia hit for me.
As we said, we have these two trees because we feel like picking a specialization is a really important part of your World of Warcraft character now. And so we want to make sure that when you choose that, it kind of affects the tree in some way.
Yeah, as soon as you open your talent tree, you'll see something new. The class side will have some abilities filled out for free, just kind of starting you off in that spec you've chosen, but then you'll have your first point to spend in the class tree, which could be something related to that spec or role, or it could be something from elsewhere in the class.
There's a lot of things that we can do here, and part of that is encouraging players to perhaps make combinations that they've never really been able to see in the game before. This is an opportunity to put a lot more art and fantasy in the actual talent UI itself.
You have seen that a lot through most recent expansions, but not at the base UI.
We want you to be able to tinker with it. You know, we want you to be able to make a lot of changes at a lot of times and not necessarily have to commit. The power really is coming back to the player. It's not something we want people to feel locked into. And so one of the things that we'll be preserving is the ability to change these talents at the same kind of frequency that you do now.
Yeah, the old school players, when you see trees this time, just think, yeah, I'll go from my raid night to my arena match and figure out what I think is the best for both of those.
And that's a process we want to make really fluid. So we're building a save load feature that lets you create your build, name it, save it, and then load it up very quickly and freely.
Talents were really about the breadth of options. We've made all these different cool things over the years, but when are they at their coolest? It's when players can hold the building blocks of what can make up their class, their spec, and put them together in a way that works for them.
So these are really cool features that we've been working long and hard on, and we're very excited about them. And it's just an early preview of the things we've been doing. We can't wait to see the reaction that you have to them, and please reach out to us and let us know your thoughts on them. And next up, we're going to talk about professions in Dragonflight.
Oh, here.
Hi, I'm Joanna.
And I'm Eric, and we're going to talk about our plans for professions in Dragonflight. Professions have been a staple of World of Warcraft forever, and they've seen lots of really cool incremental updates over their life. But for Dragonflight, we want to do something a bit different. We really want to rethink professions and figure out how to make them part of your identity as a player, if that's what you want.
We really want to make sure that professions feel fun and relevant across all levels of gameplay.
That brings us to our first update, something that we're calling crafting orders. If you want to have something crafted for you, but you don't have the skill or the right profession to do it for yourself, you can have it crafted through a crafting order. You can basically browse any of the recipes that can be crafted, pick the one you want for yourself, and then you include some or all of the reagents needed for the recipe, including ones that only you can get your hands on. You can find someone in person to do it right in front of you for you, or you can also go to an NPC and using an auction house-like interface, send the order out. If you're doing this, you can pick, do you want to send the order to anyone, sort of a public order, or do you want to only send it to
That's
your
kind of
guild,
crazy.
or to a specific other player?
That's
Maybe it's a
crazy.
friend who you know will be able to craft the item really well for you.
If you are really dedicated to your craft, you're going to be the best at what you do.
One of the coolest things about this is the item you had crafted can also be soul-bound. In the past, you could only get your hands on crafted soul-bound items by having that profession yourself. Now anyone can have them crafted for them, which is really neat and really expands the number of items that we can provide that
That's
are really
fucking
powerful because everyone can have them crafted.
That's huge,
crafted
dude.
On our system.
This is also really cool because it means as a crafter, you can start building your client base. People are going to come back to you to get certain items. Maybe you're the best at making it, or you're always
371
throwing a little
confirmed.
something extra. You're also going to be leveling up your profession. It's going to be really great.
So the first time you go to craft, you're gonna notice a lot of different things, but probably the biggest is the introduction of quality, both to your crafted items and your gathered reagents. Quality works in a pretty simple way. If you craft something that's a higher quality, it's just gonna be better. For a piece of gear, that probably means a higher item level. If it's, for instance, a potion, that might mean a more powerful effect at a higher quality.
And we're doing a lot of new things in the UI. We've put a lot of work into it to make sure that the professions feel really special and unique.
And another thing you might notice in the crafting UI that's new is the introduction of stats specifically to your professions, both crafting and gathering. And this is another sort of major input into quality. Probably the biggest source of your ability to craft items at a higher quality is through crafting specializations. We've had crafting specializations in the past.
Yes, we
as far
have.
back as original World of Warcraft.
Yes,
With
we have.
Dragonflight, you can go out and earn specialization points in a whole bunch of different ways. So
Okay.
maybe you find an old book on a bookshelf in a ruin somewhere, or a hermit in a cave who can teach you a little bit about your profession. So let's say you're a blacksmith. You might decide that first you want to become an armor smith. And the more points you spend in armor smithing, the better you're going to get at crafting all armor.
This also means that if you specialize one way, other people in your guild may specialize in a completely different path. So this means that your guild could have several top blacksmiths and everybody is providing something unique and valuable to the team, which is really cool.
Now that reminds me of another update. We're actually adding crafting tables to all the different crafting professions. We're gonna take those and we're gonna put them all in the main city of Valdrakken. And you're gonna go in there and you're gonna get to see all the different players crafting their items at their cool crafting tables.
Yeah, it means you're gonna walk into the city and you're gonna see like all these alchemists huddled over here, and you're gonna see all these blacksmiths over by the forge.
That's fucking
There'll be
cool.
other players filling orders
That's
or grabbing
fucking
orders.
cool.
It's gonna be a whole new crafting
That
area that's
is
gonna make you feel
fucking
really
cool.
part of the world.
It just seems like a much more lively area than it has in the past.
What I'm most excited about though is the gear. We're introducing new types of gear for every profession. And when you go to say mine a node, you're actually gonna just switch into that gear. It's gonna be really great.
You're not gonna have to carry that stuff around in your backpack anymore. There's actually gonna be dedicated slots for each of your pieces of gear. But I'm a numbers guy, I love progressing. All pieces of profession gear will have those special stats that we mentioned before on them. And as you get your hands on better versions of the gear, it's really gonna help you get better at your profession. Thank you for tuning in to the Dragonflight Deep Dive.
You've heard a lot about the content and changes coming in Dragonflight, and we've got a lot more in store for you in the coming months.
Until then, we'll see you in Azeroth.
Let me tell you right now, they didn't mention anything about new systems or anything like that. You notice that? There was no new system mentioned at all. Period. Yet. Bro, that crafting thing is awesome, man. Can you imagine that? Like, all right, guys, Huddle around Towelliee, get out your crafting tables. Okay, we're gonna need some armor here. You're gonna build me some weapons. Okay, I got the chest armor. You got the boots. Okay, who has a level 4 mining pick? Any level 4 mining picks? All right, get the fuck out and start getting some ore. We need some ore back in here ASAP. Come on, what are you doing? You know, like that. That Towelliee dictatorship. Let's go. Holy balls, man. That is sick. That is sick. Dude, I'm excited for the dragon flying thing. That actually seems like a pretty cool progression system because it feels like you're going to be able to start flying from pretty much like the beginning of the expansion, but not really flying like dedicated flying. But I would imagine the what is it called? Dragonflight, dragon riding. I think that's going to replace flying. You think maybe, right? Woo, man. That's a lot to digest. I'll tell you one thing, man. That cinematic had me in the beginning. I was like, where? I didn't know where it was going. I had no idea that we were already in the Dragon Isles in that cinematic. I thought that it wasn't even Dragonflight. Did anyone get that feeling that it wasn't going to be Dragonflight? It was going to be some like Titan shit. And I was like, uh-oh. I was like, wait a minute. What's happening? I was like, what's happening right now, bro? I was like, I'm like, we're getting trolled right now, dude. But you know what? Every single screenshot leak we saw today was actually real. Even from the couple of days ago. It was all real. Yeah, someone find out who posted that shit on MMO Champion, add him as a friend. Beta opt-in. Well, I mean, I don't need a beta opt-in, but you guys should beta opt-in, obviously. You know? Yeah, let's see what Wowhead has. Okay, so now we're looking for all the interviews out here. We got to find all the interviews. There's supposed to be interviews going out. I'm not sure who's doing them, what's happening. Whoa, upcoming Primalist Raid tier set concept, World of Warcraft Dragonflight. Blizzard has revealed the concept art for the upcoming Primalist Raid tier set for all 13 classes in World of Warcraft Dragonflight. So tier sets are coming back right from the start. We are doing good so far, boys and girls. We are doing good. Holy shit. That is fire. Bro. This, what is this? What is this? Is this a tank? This reminds me of like the Outriders Golem gear from that shooter. Hold on, can we enhance? Is there like an enhancey version of this one? Hold on, let me just save this as an image. Yeah, which one's Paladin? This is Paladin, right? Maybe? No. They're separated. Yeah, Rogue is far left. You think this is Paladin? Or is this like Death Knight Warrior? Oh, this is Pally. Maybe? I don't know. Paladin's going to be bronze. I think it's one of these two, right? It can't be this one. That looks like that's a monk. That's monk. Yeah, monk is ball shoulders. Shamans. Electricity coming out of their shoulders. Monk, paladin, and I mean, it had to say what. Dude, I'm not gonna lie. If this is a paladin, I don't mind at all. That motherfucker looks beefy as fuck. They look pretty hot. I mean, they're definitely capturing like the essence of the expansion, at least, you know, for sure, with the different colors. Spot the Evoker. Oh, let's see. Spot the Evoker. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know where the Evoker's at. Looks pretty cool. Yeah, this thing looks insane. Like, look at at the size of this guy. So you guys think so this is Paladin. I can't tell if this is coming out of the monk. Yeah, this is coming out of the monk's back. That's not part of the Paladin. Dude, Paladin looks fucking huge. That's crazy. How's that gonna look on a fucking Tauren? I might have to go Zandalari or something next expansion. Rip LVY. Nah. Nah, I don't think there's a rip LVY happening. All right, let's not get crazy here. Okay, somebody posted themselves. Wait, isn't this the current one? This is the current shit. Oh, because it's kind of comparable, yeah. Oh shit, sorry. Hold on. Get back on Wildhead. Dude, I'm so surprised they did not mention a single system. Ian is going full feedback mode right now. I'm sure there has to be like more involved in what's to come later. I can't, we have trust issues. Where's the pre-order? I don't know. There's no pre-order. I'm just as dumbfounded as you are. So don't forget to sign up for the beta, guys. Obviously, so sign up for the beta, please. Do that. So get in there early. It looked good. It looked good. Grinner may be coming this summer. Like I said, I mean, I know that the alpha or beta is probably not going to be around for another like 2 months. So we're a very long way from testing. But I mean, from the art that they showed us in the deep dive, it looks like the zones are there. The NPCs are there. Looks like the stuff is there. It's made, right? I mean, they had in-game, in-game footage. I think we have it 2022 November, December. Oof. I don't think so, man. I don't think so. I don't think so, amigo. Oh, that's beautiful. Oh, that's the picture. Isn't that the picture that from the leak? That's the picture, right? Dude, every one of those leaks was fucking real. Every screenshot, every pic that we looked at, the talent trees, the silly looking dragons in the creator screen, that was all real. Oh, yeah, we gotta hit up the bingo. Let me check out these screenshots though first. Oh, that's crazy. So how do you pronounce our main hub? Valankran? Fuck. These guys look fucking weird. I like the half giants. The half giants seem pretty cool. This zone, when I saw it, the first thing I thought of was the Shrine of the Storm area in BFA. What was it called? Was that Tierguard Sound? No, the one above it. Wherever Shrine of the Storm was located. No, not Storm Peak. Storm Song. Instead of Build-A-Bear, it's Build-A-Dragon. Oh, the Tuskar, bro. Dude, I'm stoked for the Tuskar. I think the Tuskar zone might be my favorite zone. And I haven't even played it yet. All right, first of all, let's pull up the bingo sheet. All right. What do we got? So we're basically putting an X on the stuff that got announced, right? So we got a new class. We got the Evoker, revamped talent system, leveling. I mean, new professions. I don't know. Would new professions classify as the system itself? I guess so, right? Yeah. Man, I feel like we can also check off Galakron because they mentioned him in general, but I don't know if we want to go that far. They didn't mention any world revamp. There was no AP talk, no cross-faction guilds. Yeah, we only checked off like 4 or 5 things here. We saw Magni. We did see Magni. But nah, you know what? That's wrong because we saw Magni in the previous cutscene from BFA. That doesn't really count though. Unless we're talking about them just mentioning stuff and just showing it. I don't think it counts if it's from a previous cutscene. They did talk about cross-faction with Ian, but not cross-faction guilds, though. We'll check it off anyway. We'll cheat on our bingo sheet. We're not hitting a bingo on anything. I'm gonna check off Galakron because they mentioned Galakron as part of the story. Yeah, we actually have no bingo, period. I feel like this is an incomplete bingo, if you ask me. See, that's what I'm saying. Like right now, I feel like we got the announcement of the bare bones stuff. And when they said, let's look into the systems of Dragonflight, there was no mention of any kind of aspect power. There was no mention of anything. I mean, do you guys, be real with me? I'll be real with you. Do you really think that there's not any mission table, order hall style stuff or aspect power coming up? Do you think it's actually going to be bare bones, just you're doing stuff with the Dragonflight and you're just going to have your own dragon? Unless they're relying on the talent revamp system to kind of carry us. Because there are tier sets. There's going to be tier sets. Yeah, see, I feel like it's coming. But yeah, we didn't check off much. I feel like this is like a bingo sheet that has to be like to be continued. I feel. But this is, to be fair, it is an expansion reveal bingo. So this is what we got. No housing though. No housing after all the fucking community hype. No housing, period, dude. I thought for sure housing was going to be mentioned. Housing never coming to WoW, never. Clap it up for new male-wearing class. Shaman and hunters are not alone anymore. Well, yeah, I mean, Ian even said there's too much melee. So they added a pure ranged. Pretty much. And a healer. Actually, Dalaran 3.0, because the way we were interpreting Dalaran was that we were just going to go back to Dalaran and we were just going to call it Dalaran 3.0. Ah, fail bingo sheet, man. Fail bingo sheet. Unfortunate. I thought we were going to get more. Did someone say there's dungeons posted? Yeah, like I said, look for the interviews, look for stuff that's happening because there's got to be more. There's got to be more information. Is it on like the website? New Uldaman dungeon? What do you mean new Uldaman dungeon? Link? Oh, on the website. English would be great. Thank you. Fuck. Oh god, the laggy websites are back. See, man, that picture was real. Unfucking believable. Unfucking believable. Drag Theory Evokers can switch between 2 customizable forms at will, humanoid form and a fearsome draconic form to fight their enemies. Become a dragon rider. Dominate the skies. So you got the Shores of Awakening, the Plains of Oanarin, the Azure Lands, Valdrassus, and then the Forgotten Edge. Did they talk about the Forgotten Edge? Click each dragon. Oh, each one of these. Whose computer's breaking just going through all this? People's computers are breaking worldwide right now. Yeah, I kind of want to see how crazy this dragon riding becomes. Like, I want to see how nutty it can actually get. Like the guy talked about, there'll be a meter that tells you how fast you're going or whatnot. Wait, where did you read Forgotten Chambers of Uldaman? Because I haven't forgotten about it. Yeah, because right now, like, these are all gameplay experience updates. I wouldn't necessarily call these new systematic updates. You got the new talent system. You got the profession. Dude, the profession thing sounds insane. So I think the way this works is, like, let's say you want to craft these boots. You could put out a work order with you already having like half the mats, and then finding somebody else out there who can complete the order for you. Is that what it's like? Right? That's kind of crazy. It's almost like you're combining like your efforts. The UI looks pretty sick. To be fair, like, to me it looks the same, but the fact that you get that you know, they kind of modernize at least the health bars and the raid and the frames. I want to see how the raid frames look too. The map is bigger, you can move it around. And it definitely looks like you can remove this crap. Add-ons can already do that. Obviously, that's meant for people who don't use add-ons. Obviously, I won't probably see any of this, only when we're playing in the beta and the alpha. You know how in alpha you're not allowed to use any add-ons? We'll be playing like this. We'll get the fuck around with the new UI for sure. What do you think, honey? Tell me that cinematic didn't just catch you off guard. I had no idea what the fuck was going on. I was like, oh no, it's not dragons. And then fucking Alex Straza just comes out of nowhere. You're just like, oh shit. New level cap. So, okay, so to confirm, it is 70. So we are leveling from 60 to 70. Man, I hope we don't level to like 120 again, bro. They got to stop that shit somewhere, don't they? Like, I hope we just don't keep leveling up again. Because we're going to run into the same fucking problem, man. Sheep Peter parked that stone giant. Oh, yeah. And that was also in the leaks, too. That little screenshot at the end. Remember, we're trying to figure out what's that in front of her, like a fat ogre, an orc. It was a fucking stone guy. It was a watcher. Oh, new dungeons. Fight to reclaim Neltharis, a stronghold of the Black Dragonflight. Explore the Forgotten Chambers of Uldaman. Defend the Red Dragonflight's pool of life, and much more. Wait, so like our Uldaman? Like our shit? Like in Badlands? Are we going back? I think it's one of the olds that the cleaner lady talked about. Cleaner lady? Hopefully a high level and not removal. We'll see. A new band. Enter the ancient prison of the primeval incarnations before their malevolent power is unleashed against the aspect dragons. Is that a raid? What is that? The ancient prison of the primeval incarnations before the malevolent power is unleashed. Yeah, I mean, it sounds like a raid. Yeah, it says new raid. Mine says raid. Mine says banned. Hold on, let me refresh my page. I'm I think I'm all fucked up. Nueva banda. What's going on right now? Yeah, no, mine says new band. I'm all kinds of messed up right now. Bienvenidos a la nueva banda de Alex Traza. I don't know what the fuck. I mean, I could do the fucking Spanish stuff too, bro. Oh, I'm in ESES. I think someone gave me the hold on. I think someone gave me like the wrong link. I think it's supposed to be like, isn't it supposed to be EN? Let's see. I think this one might be the right one. Yes, here we go. New raid. Yay, we did it. New raid. The new raid. Here's the media gallery. I think we already just saw those pictures already. Beta and game opt-in. So we don't have any sort of indication of when this is going to launch. They didn't even mention that at all. Because once again, I can tell you from knowing we're about 2 months away from the alpha. So, like I said, I think next year is plausible. But then again, I will say this, even though 284 days is the shortest time between announcement to launch, which was BFA, and every other expansion was at least a year, I feel like if this expansion is not system ridden, you could probably get this out maybe 10.0 by like December and then launch January. You know? Oh yeah, these are all like the screenshots. This is like the press website stuff. That, dude, I'm gonna make that my fucking phone background right there. This right here. This is gonna be my phone background. Easily. Dragonflight Earth Elemental Golem concept. That looks insane. Dragonflight Elemental Proto Dragon Leaders concept. Damn. Oh, okay. What is this? All right, now we gotta figure out whose dance is that. Whose dance is that? That looks familiar, that dance. Isn't that just like shuffling? Yeah, he's just shuffling. Two-step shuffle? Party rocking? The crip walk. Stop it, bro. Yep, here we go. The Dracthyr female form, full body. I told you, those screenshots were real too. It was this one, right? The screenshot that they showed was this one right here. And remember, I told you that when Blizzard does their artwork for concepts, they use this border in the background, and I was right on that one. Dracthyr dragon form headshots. Full body. See, that looks better than the 3 fucking 60p shit that we saw earlier. The black one looks insane. The black dragon looks pog as fuck. The black dragon looks absolutely stunning. This is a Dracthyr flying. Here are the male versions that, hey, the male versions have that blood elf stance. That blood elf kind of lean, you know? Go to Orgrimmar and gate everyone with their dragons flying there. 12-pack abs. Seriously, bro, these guys are ripped. My God. guys are shredded. Not sure if I'm a fan of this run animation. Something has to be done about the hands. The hands look kind of weird. Yeah, a little janky on the running for sure. It looks a little rough. I agree. I agree. Fucking Jar Jar. Yeah, bro, they run like Jar Jar. That guy's wearing a tabard. At least they can wear tabards. Here's the fact sheets. I don't think we need to read that. I gotta download this entire compilation. Yeah. Let me just do this over here on this screen. Let me just add all to downloads and just download all 98 items. Just download all of it. Just all of it. I can put it into a folder. It'll make more sense. Yeah, man. I honestly, this just being the expansion, I don't see it. If they pull it off like this, it would be amazing. I mean, look, it's what people asked for, right? You're back in Azeroth. You're doing original stories. You don't have, so far, you don't have a bunch of convoluted systems involved, and there's no signs of a dragon covenant thing, right? I mean, so far, it's a winner in terms of what the communities wanted, feedback-wise. Professions revamped. That's looking good. Talent trees revamped. Looking good. So no pre-order. That means it's going to be free? Yeah, sure. Sure, it's going to be free. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, free. Let's see. Level 70 boost available for Wrath of the Lich King Classic. So I was confused. So does that mean that you cannot queue for dungeons in the beginning of Wrath? Are they going to keep it old school or not old school? I guess I was confused on what that entailed. All right, so no queue system at all. Gotcha. Mastering the skies. Use your new riding abilities to keep yourself and your Drake in the air, but beware the denizens of the Dragon Isles will knock out inexperienced dragon riders right out of the sky. Yeah, I feel like this whole dragon rider thing is gonna be like its own little kind of like personal system. Like, it's going to have its own level up process, right? Because they said each zone is going to have different armor, different stuff for your dragon. So it seems like they're going to, you know, they're kind of going all in on this dragon riding, you know, how to train your dragon kind of mentality here. Everything from the armor to the boop snoot. Yeah, pimp my dragon hashtag. I like that. I like that a lot. The raid tier set, though, man. I can't believe paladins look like fucking golems. Paladins are straight golems, bro. They're huge. They're fucking huge. Go read the MMO Champion Forum. I prefer not to. They didn't talk about endgame at all. Where's the what does that actually do in the Dragonflight? I mean, there's gonna be raids and dungeons. Ian already said that. They just can't. They don't have anything to announce. I mean, the main website has the name of the raid and a little bit of information on the dungeons. You know? Can Dracthier be other classes or only Evoker? I believe they can only be Evoker. That's it. Yeah, so you're either going to be a ranged DPS Evoker or you're going to be a healer. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Drax are only Evoker, Evokers are only Drax. All one big thing. Like to me, I feel like they didn't really, I don't know, put a lot of emphasis on there being a new class. They made it more about the dragon than about the Evoker, right? Like it kind of felt weird. Usually they tell you the class, then the race, and then whatever. But I guess because it's a dragon expansion, it was more, you know, about the aesthetic of being a dragon than telling you afterward, oh yeah, you're an Evoker, by the way. Dude, everyone's gonna play an Evoker. Literally at launch, every leveling dungeon is just gonna be Prop Pally, Brewmaster, Death Knight, and then just 3 Evoker. What are they called? Devastators? Devastation, I think is the DPS spec, and then Perseverance is the healing spec. Someone's got a tank. Someone's got a tank. I mean, I'm going to play the fuck out of it. They should have made a tank Evoker too, to be honest. Yeah, I think tanks are fine, man. We have 6 tanks already, dude. I've always said that. I mean, would I have loved to have had like a big, scaly kind of black dragon kind of Evoker? Sure, but I'm not upset about it. Evoke healing, let's go. Let's go. It'd be like Wrath of the Lich King launch where there was 5 DKs in ramps. I mean, it'll work too. It'll work. Well, let me see what else is going on. If there's anything else coming up on that note. So has no other streamers announced any kind of interviews today? Like Sloot or anything like that? Our Drac Theater feature team is aware that press and hold is an accessibility concern and have had a toggle option built in for empower spells since the beginning. Players will be able to choose which input option is most comfortable for them. Final implementation TBD. Yeah, because that's the QTE shit, right? Like they have abilities where you can hold the button to power up and then let go to unleash. So there'll be situations, I guess what they're saying is you don't have to hold. You can just press and then unpress, right? Pretty much. I mean, I feel like that gameplay is specific to the Evoker, right? The QTE stuff. I don't think that's for anybody else. Yeah, people going crazy right now about player housing. All right, you know what we got to do? You know what we got to do? We got to check Reddit. We need to see the real reaction from the real gamers. From the real gamers. No, we don't. I'm sure it's all positive. I'm sure it's all positive. They didn't mention 60 systems. So what are you going to be mad about? Run chat. Oh no, here we go. I honestly can't believe that they literally almost debated us in the beginning like that. I almost was gonna be so mad. I was gonna be so mad, bro. Hold on, I'm trying to pull it up. I can't even find it. All right, let's see what we got here. New features of WoW. 40 zones with one new zone designated specifically for the something. New class race that are locked to one another. A profession revamp for maybe the 3rd time. Stealing LVY finally, which they really didn't. That's over-exaggerating. A return to talent trees. This is pretty underwhelming. This smells, this is like small indie studio amount of content for an expansion. Did I miss anything? Oh, see, dude, I told you. I told you there was going to be some motherfucker that was going to be like, oh, that's it? That's what I was afraid of. If you have an expansion that's really plain, people are just going to bitch about it. Oh, that's it? No new powers? None of that stuff? What do you mean? Well, time to gather false hopes. They'll get it right this time. Buy another expansion and probably quit halfway through. God, doom and gloom on a day like this. All I've ever wanted since BFA was a new talent system. I didn't even play Shadowlands. Seems like they're really putting into work for this expansion, though. Almost everything has been upgraded. The world is healing. So I take it Silithus is fixed? Oh. Uh-oh. Not played since Mist, and this looks amazing. What sword? What sword? I don't know what sword you're talking about. I was hoping for an Azeroth revamp. Well, so was the bingo card, and I didn't get it, bro. Calling it now, the new No system is the revamped professions. Higher quality equals Titan forgings. Sub-specializations equals covenants. Putting mats up on the auction house for order equals convoluted Legion AP shards. What the fuck? How? What is this guy smoking? What are you talking about, bro? These guys have PTSD. That's what it is. These guys are just scarred or something. Holy shit. The candle worked. These guys are just fucking scarred. While this is somewhat light on feature systems, that's exactly what people have been asking for. And as someone who has had an on-again, off-again, love-hate relationship with WoW pretty much since WoD, I'm very excited. Dragons are a great theme. The story seems very grounded in iconic WoW themes. New talent trees has a ton of potential. Can't wait for Alpha to see all the talent changes in particular. That is so true, right? Like, no one can really complain that, oh, there's not enough stuff to do in this expansion. Because that is the biggest feedback all the players of the game have said. They want less systems, less, lighter on the features. Give us stuff that matters. Pretty happy with everything that's been released so far. I really like the vibe of the expansion. I'm honestly pretty happy, but the details will matter a lot. Dragon riding is something I've wanted since flying first came out in BC. Not the dragon part, but the dynamic feel of flying. Okay. This guy wrote like a fucking thesis. I like the profession changes, and I'm not even a professions guy. Maybe this is finally the expansion to get me back into professions. I haven't done professions hardcore since BC. That's it. And Wrath. And beginning of Wrath. Probably I would say after TOGC I quit professions. Sixth chapter post. Thanks, Blizzard, for saving me $59.99. Once Wrath is over, I'll be saving $15 a month too. Damn, bro. Damn, dude. Not the most exciting cinematic. Granted, we've been begging for more grounded, low-stakes stories, so I'm not mad. I think there was a way to make it pop still, but I'm at least glad they were making the thematic shift. I kind of agree there. I think that whole beginning part took way too fucking long, and then like the last 30 seconds were dragons, and that was cool. Like, because I had no idea what the fuck was going on in the beginning of that shit. But after Dan User explained it, it was good. It was good. But see, here's the cool part, right? With the story, Dan was sitting there explaining the story and how it's going to go down, and we had no word, not even a blip of the word Sylvanas, nothing with cosmic powers, nothing of fucking corruption. None of that, at least for now. It looks like it's just a base Azeroth story that dates back 10,000 years. What's going to be cool about the story in this expansion is that we're going to have I think a lot of big history lessons because of how long, it's been. It's kind of weird though, because the aspects have been here the entire time, right? We've interacted with them over several expansions. And I guess after the events of the Jailer, Azeroth is kind of so fucked up that they were the ones who you had to call, right? Like, who are you going to call? Ghostbusters? Who are you going to call? The Aspects. They hid it from themselves, yeah. Wait, so the aspects hid the Dragon Isles from themselves until they were called upon again? So they don't have to, so they don't go back and whatever. Oh, and now Rathian makes Thrall an honorary black dragon. Stop it. Stop it. I have no idea why you'd class race look like this. It's obvious the dragon form will be what we use in combat, so why not let any race be that class with only the base form being different? And why not let the dragon race be warriors, rogues, etc.? I hope the restrictions lift in time. Oh, I don't think so. I mean, that's just like demon hunters, right? Like, that's just very specific. Dude, being able to save your builds in the talent trees, that's fucking huge. That's fucking huge. If you can actually make a bunch of builds that are viable and everything's just not cookie cutter, then that's a win. That's actually a win. Yeah, like loadouts. Yeah. I mean, that's what's going to happen during the alpha and the beta, right? Like, players are going to start, a lot of the theory crafters, a lot of people are just going to start making different builds. But this guy just mentioned right here, Prot Holy. I'm pretty sure you could do Prot Holy now. That's probably a thing. Prot Holy back. In it, like Wrath of the Lich King style. Frostfire Mage. No pre-purchase, PvP changes, mission table, class race combinations, raid showcase, dungeon showcase. A lot is missing. Yeah, is this shit ain't coming out till next year, bruh? Just letting you know. The only thing I'm disappointed about is Evokers being seemingly only red-green Dragonflight. They absolutely could have done a black Dragonflight tank specialization that uses rock and earth to protect the Evoker and the party. Shut the fuck up. I don't want to hear it because it makes me want it. Stop it. Stop it. The leaker who was 100% right about everything in this reveal said autumn 2022. I don't know, man. I don't think that, I mean, maybe because this is kind of like a more back to the basics expansion and maybe more bare bones than 50 systems that we have to worry about. Maybe the testing could just be done faster, right? Maybe that's what it boils down to, maybe. Who knows? I'm just saying, like, 2 months from now, we're probably going to be in alpha. And 2 months from now, we're already in June. And almost, last 2 weeks of June. Right? You're talking about July, August, September, October, November. Maybe December. I'm telling you, I think December is 10.0. So they can hit that end of the quarter hype and then expansion January. Personally, my gut says March, April. That seems far out, but that's just my gut. We'll see. Very disappointed if I'm honest. Why is this tagged as speculation? If you let me fight in my humanoid form, I'm in. If not, you can basically keep your scaly personas to yourself. Wow. Wow, World of Retcons 2, now with dragons. Oh boy, furry hater. Furry hater. New statue is art, this $1,100. You mean this statue? Because that's how much I paid for mine, it's the same one. I'm pretty sure. They would probably add a glyph to keep you humanoid form. They could. Oh, please don't let them fuck up engineering again. The crafting revamp sounds pretty cool. I'm also giddy for the new talent trees. Honestly, I think, if you ask me, personally, I think the new talent trees is basically a replacement for having multiple systems, right? You know what I'm saying? Because the talent trees, if you look at just the druid one, you can see Convoke and a bunch of stuff from Legion and from now that were used in systems of the past that they've just kind of baked into this big talent tree thing. Yeah, I mean, you know, there's no more lines anymore, right? There's no more choosing 1 out of 3 talents. It's this big fucking thing now. It's huge. I feel like that is going to be like what replaces all of like the systematic stuff. Like that is the new system, is the talent revamp. Hopefully we see some new stuff though, right? Like I definitely want to see some new talents. Like, you know, I hope it's not just all the previous like artifact weapon slots and, you know, blah, blah, blah. It'd be nice to see some new spells, some new passives. The loadout stuff is crazy though. Assuming this is fan-made or early concepts, as the quality of the shading and the design is pretty damn poor, to be honest. Looks like crap from the early 2000s. Why is this a speculation thread? It's literally the announcement of the expansion. What's going on right now? It would be cool if Nosdormu would do weekly raid content that brushes off legacy raids with an infinite Dragonflight twist, empowered final bosses, influenced gear, and time challenges for better gear. That sounds awesome. The cinematic was boring. Wish we had a features trailer instead of a roundtable. The presentation was boring, but content has me interested. I'll wait for beta before I decide to get hyped and resub. Stop it. You're going to buy the fucking deluxe edition. You're going to resub, and you're going to be a fucking pink Drakthir Evoker DPS. Who the fuck are you kidding, bro? Stop it. Stop it. I hate those guys. They feel like they're so empowering in a Reddit chat room by telling you that they're not gonna buy it yet. We're gonna wait till the beta. Well, yes, I'm just gonna wait here and I'm gonna see what happens on Twitch and YouTube, and see what my famous friends, Bellular and the rest of my gang have to say about it. Like, stop it, bro. You're gonna fucking buy it. Just buy it. When it comes out, just fucking buy it. Like, you don't have to act like you're not going to buy it. Just admit you're going to buy it. You're just not buying it now. Hell, we can't even buy it now. Dude, that's what I'm saying. They are literally giving us what we asked for, and people are still throwing a fit. Blows my mind. Welcome to our WoW. Yup. Yup. It's so true, though. I mean, that is what people have asked for. What have been some of the biggest asks of the last 5 expansions? Less systems, talent revamps, better UI. Shit goes back to Azeroth instead of going to cosmic planes everywhere, right? That's why I always say, man, you can never make everybody happy. You can't make everybody happy. You never will. Like I said, there's still a lot that we don't know anything about. I'm pretty sure there's going to be some interviews eventually, and I think Ian and the team are going to do probably like a secondary deep dive eventually, you know? Like one that actually talks about endgame, because they didn't mention any endgame shit. This is just the experience from the beginning of the leveling in the Dragon Isles until you hit max level, and then that's it. Dude, the whole thing with the people crafting with their own crafting tables around each other in the town. I gotta see that. I gotta see that in action. I think we could break some servers. Some streamers are gonna break some servers like that. Let me tell you. They better hope they have the tech. And as usual, the YouTube comments section of the cinematic is fucking insufferable. I don't even know why you're watching YouTube. You should be watching fucking Twitch, where semi-normal people are located. I got hyped, guys. Please ruin my delusions. Oh, man. Living on dungeons and raids. They have dungeons and raids. It's in the main website. There's a little blip. Anyone got the website link again? Anyone got the website link? So I can look at it really quick. Don't talk about World Quest either. I'm sure there'll be something. Like I said, look, all those things that we are saying are missing, I'm sure will be talked about later. Yeah, if you scroll all the way down to the bottom, it tells you. It tells you at least that there's new dungeons. One of them's Oldemon, and there's a new raid. I guess called the Ancient Prison of the Primal Incarnates. So it is there, for sure. If there was one thing that you guys can think of that you for sure thought was going to happen but didn't in terms of features, what would it be? I'm going to say housing. I for sure thought housing was going to be a thing. Yeah, like I thought housing for sure, bro. Account wide. Well, like I said, account wide is something they would talk about later. Like the information we got today was like a quasi BlizzCon. If this was BlizzCon, the deep dive would have been an hour long of just system talk. Ian interview, where at? Interview with Holinka. Oh, exclusive interview. Okay. So this is with Holinka on IGN. So just to make sure that you guys know, this is IGN that we're looking at. I will link the interview in chat. So let's start off with this one. Let's see what Holinka has to say. Probably stuff we already know, but maybe we might get some new information.
We start thinking usually a couple of expansions ahead. So, I mean, this is something that we knew was coming since before Shadowlands came out, kind of laying the groundwork and thinking about places in Azeroth that we have yet to explore and stories that we wanted to tell. Dragons are something that's always been such just like a compelling part of all aspects of World of Warcraft, whether it was Onyxia infiltrating, the human kingdom back in the very earliest days of WoW storytelling,
definitely not Holinka,
to their role in Wrath of the Lich King and beyond. And so really excited to just dive really deep into the nature of dragons and their history and their role in Azeroth.
See, Ian looks fine there. Whatever angles they had of him during the little table thing, he looked fucking rough. I was like, bro, can someone check up on him? Because he looks kind of crazy. He looks fine now in this one. Different zones.
There are 4 major zones, as well as a separate starting zone for the Drakthir Evoker, which I'm sure we'll chat about in a little bit. And these 4 zones are not necessarily themed around the Dragonflights the way you might think of the Dragon Shrines and Wrath of the Lich King or whatever, but they certainly have powerful ties to the history of the individual flights. So players will begin their journey in the Waking Shores, which are waking in the sense of literally coming to life, and a place bursting with primal elemental energy and magma and tectonic activity. And it's no surprise that we're going to see both the red and the black Dragonflight, for example, very heavily represented here, with their close ties to the earth, fire, and that elemental energy. And as players continue to explore and traverse the Dragon Isles, this is also a space that is very vertical, which is fitting in a sense for a winged race of beings. But as you ascend, you'll be climbing through rolling plains into frozen tundra and eventually the peaks atop the Dragon Isles. And each zone has its own character, its own cultures and civilizations that have been living there for thousands of years. Not just dragons, but certainly in the shadow of dragons in their history. And all of those stories are going to intertwine as players explore this space.
Yeah, the Dragon Isles is a super varied landscape. At one time, this was all the domain of dragons, and they had struggles. They had enemies that they had to fight against and keep in line, but this was their kingdom. This was their homeland, again, where they laid their eggs, where they raised their young. And so to come back here after thousands and thousands of years have passed, because they had to leave it behind when the sundering of the world caused that elemental energy to kind of drain away from these lands. And now, with all that's happened and Azeroth taking that next step of revitalization, those energies are coming back. And that's what's causing this land to awaken. And that's having all kinds of ripple effects. As the dragons come back to reclaim their lands, other forces want to stake their claim to these very magical lands as well.
This is your expansion, Steve. Sir Dan User. This is your expansion. No more Alex Sylvanas influence shit from the last 4 years that got put on your shoulders. This is you, Dan User. This is you. It's time to shine. This expansion. Get away all that Shadowlands filth stuff. You know, yeah, no more excuses. Hold on. Is exploration of the Dragon Isles fairly linear?
Our goal is to have, compared to Shadowlands certainly, much more freedom of exploration and less linearity within the individual zones. But as you level from 60 to 70, there is still this sense of the first, second, third, and fourth zone, at least on your initial playthrough on your first character. I think as we saw with Threads of Fate and Shadowlands, we want to make sure there's maximum flexibility when you're leveling alls. But I think, you know, there's one of the things we learned from the full branching sandbox structure of Legion and BFA, where you could do the zones in any order, is that it's more challenging, and in some cases impossible, to have a linear narrative arc when you can do the zones in any order. And I think as players are going to discover, when they get there, their journey necessarily will take them to the summit of the Dragon Isles, to the Tower of Tyrhold that we saw in the cinematic where that beacon was lit. And being able to just start there as your first zone would kind of undercut some of that. But it's, you know, we want an exciting journey guided by purpose, but with tons of freedom to explore, to, you know, get to know the cultures that you're interacting with, to chase side quests, and to feel like, you know, there's a story moving you forward, but you're not on rails the whole way.
So confirmed, you go through the entire zone normally on your first character. All your alts can do it in any order they want, and Threads of Fate early, I'm assuming. So maybe, hopefully, current Threads of Fate scaling and progression, not the original Threads of Fate where it takes you like 45 minutes to complete one fucking bonus objective.
Yeah, the Dragon Isles is a land that's alive with stories, and while there is that central thread that takes you through the land, you'll uncover all sorts of different groups, different reputations that you can work through, that as you build them up, more stories unlock that way. So it is meant to encourage exploration and for the player to choose which groups they're more interested in, and that rewards them by not only giving them more story quests, but also cool rewards that are tied to these different groups.
Tell us about the Drag Theory Evokers. Why create a combination new hero class and race?
We probably started with the idea of a new race first. It's one of the things as we're coming up with any expansion concept, we ask the question of like, is there a natural fit here in terms of a new player race that we could introduce? And there's something compelling about both, the fantasy of, literally being a dragon at the something that, players love dragons, love everything about them, including their ability to take on a visage form and meld with, the rest of society. But we're learning about the perspective of the Dragon Isles from their side as well as from the perspective of the rest of Azeroth and the humans and dwarves and elves who are coming to the shores.
Dude, the black dragons
time.
look so cool.
Once we really got excited about the idea of chasing a customizable full-player race that delivered the fantasy of being a dragon, being a descendant of the dragons in Azeroth, well, then the natural next question was like, well, what classes can they be or should they be? And increasingly and pretty rapidly, we realized that like none of our existing classes was exactly the right fit. The fantasy of being a dragon, they call down powers that are different than what mages or warriors or any of our known classes do. And of course, by their nature, they have these unique physical gifts, like literal wings and claws, the ability to unleash breath weapons. And so that got us really excited about building this integrated race/class that could only ever be the Drakthir. As well, try as they might, we want to make sure that all the different races of Azeroth can learn the range of skills and talents of the other classes. An elf is never going to be able to literally take flight and do a soaring deep breath over their enemies. Only Drakthir can do that.
Yeah, as you explore the background of the Drakthir and learn about their origins, you'll see how they are uniquely positioned to tap into the magic that was bestowed upon the aspects in the different Dragonflights. So their abilities are themed around those different Dragonflights and felt like something that should be unique to the Drakthir, that it should be their legacy that they are claiming and finding their place in the world. So it just allowed us to tell some really cool stories about them tapping into these powers and exploring the Dragon Isles through their eyes as well.
Is the new talent system moving away from growth systems that we throw away at the end of each expansion? That's what we were just talking about, wasn't it?
In the years since we moved away from the standard talent trees that we had, back in Wrath and in the classic days to the Mists of Pandaria style system, we've realized that while, there was initial appeal to focusing the choices and, really meaningful pivots in your character's capabilities, that system didn't lend itself to the same sort of ongoing growth and expansion. And in the past, we might have just said, hey, it's a new expansion, you have 10 new talent points, 10 new levels, this is what your class is gaining. We were increasingly turning to new systems to kind of fill the hole that the change to the talent system left. Things like artifact weapons or Azurite or Covenants and their soulbinds. And of course, some of these were more successful than others, and there was a lot of excitement in them. It also inherently feels pretty bad to leave something behind at the start of every new journey, to start every expansion by saying goodbye to a piece of your character that you've grown attached to over the last couple of years, as opposed to feeling like you're progressing, you're carrying this forward. And so we're really excited to overhaul our talent system, return to its roots in a sense, but also carry a lot of the lessons that we've learned over the last dozen years about different talent systems and how our players play the game today.
So I think that's what it is. I think the new revamp of the talent system is the systems of Dragonflight. I don't think there's a possibility we don't have any new actual outside power outside of the talents. Like, that's going to be insane. It only took them 12 years to figure it out. No problem, Will it be easy to respec or reallocate talent points?
Our goal here is maximum customization and flexibility, and really returning to some of the things that we lost, like being able to really be a hybrid. Say you're a paladin and you're a ret paladin. Are you ret holy or are you ret prompt? That's something that had meaning a dozen years ago, but that you can't really express in today's system in Shadowlands.
Can I have exorcism,
That's something
please?
we see is essential to the Dragonflight system going forward. But with that customization, we also recognize that players expect, and rightly so, the flexibility of being able to optimize and problem solve around specific settings, whether you're going into Mythic Plus, whether you're changing roles, whether you're going from an ads heavy raid encounter to a single target raid encounter, PvP, whatever else. And so we don't want to bring back any of these sort of old school classic increasing costs on respecking or anything like that. Our current plan is for you to have multiple loadouts that you can change in town and customize there. But once you have loadouts set out in the field, you can just swap from your Mythic Plus loadout to your raid loadout, get summoned to the raid, and you're good to go.
There you go. How has the new dragon riding feature impacted the design of the Dragon Isles?
It's a little bit of a chicken and egg thing in that the Dragon Isles, we were conceiving of them as a very vertical space from the start, because that's really what suits the fantasy of the location. But I think dragon riding is a natural fit because it allows players to adapt their movement and their traversal to what the world asks of them. And from a level design perspective and from a content design perspective, as you level up and improve your dragon riding skills, you may be able to more easily reach locations that you couldn't before in terms of accessing new content. And in just how we lay things out, there's a lot more space in the Dragon Isles than in many of our recent expansion zones. A lot of negative space in a way that I think makes the world feel more alive and more real. It's a place that exists in which stories occur, as opposed to a place that was crafted to tell a specific story. But one of the reasons one of the things in the past that's led us to more compact zones is just the convenience of travel and how players are going to get around. But when we know that, once you've gone out and reached the top of that cliff over there, you can just hop on your Drake companion and, dive bomb, gain a ton of momentum towards the ground and glide your way back to turn in your quest. Suddenly it makes it much easier to actually deliver that, immersive world setting without feeling like the gameplay mechanics are fighting against it.
Our level designers were super excited to embrace the verticality of the Dragon Isles and make it this place that had these things you could see in the distance and figure out how to navigate to them. That sense of wonder as you see these vast horizons. That was something they really embraced, and we're excited to make this land that felt very open, very vertical, lots of places to aspire to reaching, but also feeling like the dragons had that you can see their wings spreading out over the vast plains and soaring through the sky, and to be up there with them is just a great thrill that our players will really appreciate.
What does it mean to be able to specialize in professions? Why does it get so loud and then it gets low?
Our profession overhaul for Dragon Isles crafting in particular, I think, is aiming to deliver something that, frankly, I think has always been a missed opportunity for World of Warcraft, and that's a real sense of depth and identity to our trade skills. There's no reason why being able to say, I'm a blacksmith, or I'm an alchemist, or I'm an herbalist, couldn't be every bit as much a part of your character's identity as the spec that you choose to play or the content that you choose to pursue. I think some of the closest that we came to that was actually probably 17 years ago, where, if you were a notorious enchanter on your server who had gone out and collected all of the recipes and you had the best enchanting rod, people could seek you out across your server because they knew that, yep, you're the one who can provide what everyone wants. Increasingly, that amount of differentiation has been lost when it comes to professions. So one of our goals in Dragon Isles crafting and gathering has really been to allow people who want to really go deep, to specialize, to master their art, to be able to make some of the most powerful items around, but also to be able to interact socially in a way that hasn't been the case in a while. We have a new system of work orders and collaborative crafting that can allow people to get maybe a bind on pickup crafting material from running a dungeon or from doing something out in the world. They can then bring to a crafter and have the crafter turn into a piece of armor or something for them to wield. Or they can go to the new work order section that's kind of an addition to our auction house system, where they can list their work order and the materials that they are providing, what their commission they're going to pay is, and then crafters can come along and see, okay, there's this thing that I can do, I can make some gold, I can improve my blacksmithing skill, let me fill this work order. And so there's a lot of nuance, a lot of depth. Can't wait to see players' reactions to this over the course of our alpha and beta, but we're really trying something truly fresh when it comes to professions in Dragonflight.
I wonder, I'm kind of scared for the first time of an add-on fucking this up, to be honest. I feel like there's just going to be those people that there's going to be an add-on that's going to just auto accept a bazillion work orders so they can make all the gold faster than anybody else can click on it, kind of shit like that. I feel like there's going to be something to that nature that's going to happen. Bet that gets banned. Yeah, I mean, maybe. They could definitely ban it if they add that portion of it. What should we expect to see from the UI rebuild?
One of the other things we're really excited to bring in Dragonflight is a fresh look and an updating of our World of Warcraft user interface, starting with the HUD, the heads-up display that consists of the action bars, the unit frames, what you see on your screen as you're running around the world moment to moment. And there's two pieces to this. One is simply the aesthetic. In many ways, the aesthetic of the World of Warcraft UI is not something that has evolved meaningfully in the last 17 years. We want to do something that remains true to its origins, but also feels fresh and modern and crisp and supports higher resolution monitors and the way people play the game today. Speaking of higher resolution monitors, I think one of the other challenges with our UI, our default UI, is that it doesn't necessarily have information laid out in the best way possible for the larger screens that people are playing on today. I think the default of literally having, you have your own player frame in the upper left-hand corner, your buffs and debuffs in the upper right-hand corner, you're looking at your action bars at the bottom. That all worked physically when the UI was originally created, or the 1024 by 768 CRT monitors people were playing on back in the day. But now you get your cool widescreen, ultra widescreen monitor, you want to play all your games on it, all your other games instantly feel better. The default the default UI experience in WoW is honestly not really the case today. And so one of the things we wanted to solve was information layout offering better, more centralized defaults, but also a much greater level of customization and flexibility to let players, without needing add-ons, move things around, place the information where it suits their playstyle and their aesthetic.
Let's see. Does the UI redesign potentially make it easier to do a console port in the future? Oh, IGN's hitting hard right now, dude. Hold on.
World of Warcraft is a game designed from the ground up for the PC. I think, we've just been looking at the ways in which add-ons have at times felt increasingly
Thank you, Ian.
required. Where like the first thing you do when someone comes to the game for the first time is tell them, hey, go download this add-on pack and move this stuff around. And we want to do better for our players. And so really this is, we're not looking to replace add-ons. We know that people love that powerful customizable aspect of our game, and we're not going to take away your LVY or whatever else your add-on of choice is.
Thank you.
But we want to make the out-of-the-box baseline experience just better and more accessible.
Thank you. Can Horde players expect a bit more stability in their future given what their faction has been through? That's what I was talking about before. This expansion should have more alliance instability.
One of the nice things as we're going into Dragonflight is that the Horde and the Alliance have had time to kind of reflect on recent events and to live in this period of truce between them. So unlike some of our previous expansions where the Horde and Alliance were contesting for ground, they're actually making a cooperative effort here in going to the Dragon Isles together. And one of the ways that they're differentiating some of the things they've done in the past is this is, at first and foremost, an exploration of this new land. And so it's fitting that they have their explorers come forth and lead the charge. So on the Alliance side, the Explorers League will be working with, on the Horde side, the Reliquary, and together they're forming something they call the Dragonscale Expedition. And these two groups will be navigating through these lands, setting up little outposts for us, helping us along our way as we're exploring these ancient lands. And that leads to some fun kind of rivalries where you have these two different groups that are both interested in relics and knowledge, but they've got to work together. This is the spirit of cooperation, but there can still be some of those little internal rivalries that are just fun storytelling. It's an exciting time for both of these groups. The Horde has a council now, no longer a single war chief that's guiding them into conflict, and we'll explore those stories and kind of see where the Horde is at, and also see how the Alliance is dealing with some of the changes that it has experienced in recent history.
But will we see Harrison Jones? Key question. Will we see our boy Harrison Jones? That's all I need to know. He has to. I mean, is he part of the Explorers League? He's part of the Explorers League with like Nessie Wary and a bunch of them, right? Isn't he? Anyway, will the master loot system ever come back? Here we go.
We have nothing specific to announce there. I think I will say that we're not
no fucking surprise
rapturously happy with personal loot and its complexities. It's a system that often can feel inscrutable to players and can cause some frustration where you can't understand why you can't trade something or when you can. We know there's room to improve there. And so I think some form of collaborative, cooperative loot allocation is not completely off the table, but there's nothing specific that we've settled on just yet.
IGN, I give you a clappa because you tried. Will tier sets continue to exist? Good question. Just to confirm that.
It's been really fun seeing the community reaction to the return of tier sets, and bring them back in a way that they're not just for raiders, but also accessible to players who do Mythic Plus, players who PvP, and it's something that we're definitely going to carry forward into Dragonflight and beyond. And just excited to see that evolve along with the rest of our systems.
There you go. With the rest of our systems. He must mean the talent revamp, obviously. Will there be a version of the Great Vault in Dragonflight with weekly loot?
Overall, we're happy with how the Great Vault has played out. There's room for improvement and something that we're going to continue to iterate on the same way we recently improved the Constellation Prize, for example, in a recent update, if there isn't something you pick from your vault in a given week. But that weekly structure to complement Mythic Plus and PvP makes sense, and we feel that the Great Vault is a better version of that system than the standalone single-item chest that we had in Legion and Battle for Azeroth. So we want to continue to iterate on that as we carry it forward.
I agree. Does a Dragon Focus expansion mean we get the time travel with the Bronze Dragonflight again? Ooh, time travel. I love these questions.
One of the cool things about the Dragonflights is that the bronze is back. We get to see their place of power in the Dragon Isles, and it's very much time themed. There'll be some great adventures there. And yeah, as we know from past stories, the bronze aren't the only ones who are interested in the time ways. There are infinite dragons out there as well. And so how these two groups interact, what their goals are, what they're trying to achieve, that's very much interwoven into the story of Dragonflight.
MCU the fuck out of this. Is Rathian coming back, and is he still hot?
You know, it would be criminal for us to have a dragon-themed expansion coming to this homeland of ancient secrets, ancient discoveries,
How do you answer that?
and not have Rathian, the smarmy, handsome, dashing, a little bit annoying sometimes, representative of black dragons coming with us and exploring these lands and getting his perspective on this, because he's young, he's never seen these lands before, so this is all new to him as well. And seeing Rathian's perspective on this is always fun, but especially here in the Dragon Isles, it's going to be a real treat to adventure alongside him and get his take on some of these events in the history that's unfolding.
Wow. He's the Fabio of WoW, for sure. I think that's it. Yeah, I think that's it. That was a really good interview. Hammers up to that. Hammers up to IGN. Good questions. Really good questions. Very surprised, actually, on that one. Some good questions on that, for sure. I mean, the one thing I was really surprised to hear Ian say is how he doesn't think personal loot is working out very well. So, I mean, that's actually exciting to hear. That means we might be one step closer to this getting some sort of quasi-master loot back. In general. Let's see. Does oh, they actually have the balance tree here already. Oh, because they showed the balance tree during the cinematics and shit. Where's Convoke? There's Convoke. Where first I looked for, I'm like, all right, where's Convoke? Let's see. As a bear, is there anything special as a bear? Anyone see Frenzied anywhere? You know they're going to bring a bunch of Covenant stuff back. You know what I'm saying? Like, Convoke is there. It hasn't gone away. Yeah, dude, the loadouts. So this is what they were talking about. So in when you do your talents, you can create your loadouts. Like this guy created Mythic Plus, Raid AoE, Raid Single Target, Jeff's Max DPS build, Arenas, World Quests. Dude, I'm ready to put together my speed set. You know what I'm saying? Put together the speed set. Yeah, the presets is huge. Yeah, presets is huge. Paladins better have Divine Toll. I'm sure they will. Like I said, I think what they're doing is they're basically taking all of the cool shit from all the system abilities we've had since Legion, and they're putting it all into this one big talent revamp. You said there was another interview. There was a Jeremy Fiesel interview. By the way, thank you, Necht, for linking this. Someone on 4chan posted this on Saturday, April 16th. Posted Dragonflight, new race Drakthir, new class Invoker, Dragon Isles 5 zones, reworked talents, Dragonflight Covenant. That's actually not true. No player power. That's actually true. New allied race pre-order bonus. Rathian and Alexstrasza main heroes. Villain is Moruzan. Release quarter 1 2023. I still think this could have been easily guessed, but the fact that this was kind of precise a week ago is kind of crazy. No, a couple days ago, actually. They were saying Covenants might be dragon riding. Oh, I gotcha. Like, that might be the system. Yeah, where's this Jeremy Fiesel interview? Zorberg says, we've heard you loud and clear. In celebration of Dragonflight, every Wrath Classic dungeon will be updated to use same rideable dragon vehicle tech from everybody's favorite dungeon, the Oculus. Dragons for all. Stop it. This is a joke. Hashtag please do not fire me. Hashtag sorry, not sorry. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Is WoW still going to be subscription based? Yeah. Why would that change? Mod check, pre-orders check. No pre-orders. So surprised by no pre-orders. I thought for sure we were going to have like new mounts in the game today with new pets and like a bunch of other stuff. I for sure thought we were going to have it, man. I'm actually so surprised we don't.